Yes, if we don't do something about it. I've been wanting to talk about the state of FG for a while, because there is a major problem that nobody has spoken up about until recently. It's not the community itself. We solved that problem months ago. Now, the problem is the content. Don't get me wrong, I think the community is amazing, and there is so much potential in it. However, we can't demonstrate that potential clearly if we don't make changes soon. But before we begin, I want to remind you to not panic. This video shouldn't make you think, oh no, FG is going to die, we're doomed, it's over. If we panic, we won't get anything done and FG will die out. It's best to stay calm and remember the things I tell you in this video whenever you make FG videos. The purpose of this video is to bring the community together so we can save this community. With that out of the way, let's begin. I've noticed two major problems pop up over the past few months, which I will discuss in this video. The first problem is the lack of originality, and the second is the fact that FG has become a messy competition now on who can create the biggest number. Let's start by talking about why FG content nowadays is bland. I've noticed that, aside from Mathis RV and No, there are two main series that the community is most interested in: Windows' Ultimate World, by yours truly, and Everywhere at the End of Fictional Googology, by DECAD. These two series have been a massive hit recently. But why are they so popular? What sets them apart from the hundreds of other series out there? And what is their secret to success? The answer to all of these questions is simple: they experiment and innovate. Windows' Ultimate World experiments and innovates by having an entire, full-fledged storyline coupled with the series, as well as animated, voiced cutscenes to go along with it. This is something that has never been done before. Technically, My Beyond Absolute Fictional Numbers was the first one with a storyline, but that doesn't count since the whole thing is based off of Doki Doki Literature Club.
Everywhere at the End of Fictional Googology innovates by basing the entire series around a mental condition known as dementia, and taking inspiration from works like Everywhere at the End of Time. As you progress through the second half of the series, you can see how it becomes less and less coherent, and more confusing. This series is basically an FG representation of the 7 stages of dementia, and it showcases what it's like to have dementia pretty well. Both of these series take outside inspiration. Everywhere at the True End of Fictional Googology was inspired by Everywhere at the End of Time, and Windows' Ultimate World was the next step up from Beyond Absolute Fictional Numbers, a series that had an entire storyline inspired by Doki Doki Literature Club. This is why so many FG videos don't get as much attention as these two. They are not your typical, generic series. They are more original, because they take outside inspiration and import it into the series. To save FG, we need more series that experiment and innovate. We need series that try out new things instead of being generic. Another example of something original that isn't one series, but rather a branch of FG is Quantum Googology. Instead of seeing how far you can go past infinity, Quantum Googology is about seeing how close you can get to 1. It was popularized by people like CircleCube285 and Joshua DR0809, and I think this concept is pretty cool, and I'd love to see more of it in the future. Also, creativity can be in the numbers and cycles themselves too. One of my favorite examples of this is Part 8 of Mathis RV's Numbers 0 to Absolute Fictional Numbers, specifically the Ultimation part. When Mathis showed this for the first time, it blew me away. The origin of the sound was later traced back to a Roblox Oof Variations video. Mathis most likely saw this video and thought it would be good FG content. You can also take existing ideas and modify them in a new way. Two great examples of this are the merging mastery in Numbers 0 to Deathwish, which took the existing concept of mastery and combined it with games like 2048, or the symbol sequence in Numbers 0 to Endless by Super Windows 78, which took the concept of loops to new levels. The message I'm trying to put out to all of you fictional googologists is to not be afraid to try something new. Maybe there's a cool game you've played that would make for a good FG series. Or maybe there's something you're really interested in or passionate about that you want to put into FG. Don't be afraid to take risks, experiment, or innovate. Remember, experiments can fail. But the idea of failure shouldn't discourage you from trying it out. The only real failure is when you stop trying. If it works out, great. If not, you can either come up with a new idea or improve an existing idea. By making our videos more original, we can make FG fresh again. So, to summarize, don't hesitate to try out something new. Experiment with new concepts, formats, and techniques. Like they always say, if at first you don't succeed, then try and try again. Now, let's talk about this messy competition. Up until early 2023, with the release of numbers 0 to absolute breakdown, FG was simple. There wasn't much competition, and FG was mainly just a fun project. Fast forward to mid-2024, and now, with the addition of scales and descaling, FG has become a mess. Everyone is fighting to get the biggest number. Everyone's so invested in this competition that countless arguments have spawned over whose number is bigger. Don't you think it's a bit stupid to argue about who has the largest number?
Maybe, instead of arguing about fictional numbers, we should use this same energy to talk about how we're going to solve actual, real-world problems. The world is on fire, species are becoming extinct, the ocean is polluted, and there are millions of people who live in poverty, can't drink clean water, and have little food to eat. Yet, instead of focusing on this, we choose to argue about numbers? This is absolutely ridiculous. Nowadays, whenever someone showcases a new largest number, instead of the community going, "Wow, this is so cool. Great job," they say stuff like "You're descaled and I'm breaking this in my series." When someone surpasses your number, you shouldn't have the mindset that you've failed to get the record holder. You should have the mindset where you are proud that the community has made progress and is going even farther from infinity. Too many people are stuck in the former mindset, and that's why all these arguments happen. We should have the latter mindset and congratulate people who create new record holders. But what about scales? That's still a problem. Well, as of right now, there isn't a guaranteed solution, but we can come close. I'd like to introduce you to the Fixing FG project. Our goal is to return FG to how it used to be. A fun community project, without the competition. We'll need as much help as we can, because the community cannot be saved by just one person alone. We're working on the universal fictional googology scale, which will unify all scales into one. If you'd like to help out, join the Discord server, linked in the description. Another reason why this is a mess is because of the concepts that are too complex to understand for beginners, mainly those from the FG wiki and transcology. Even I myself can't understand this stuff, and I've been in this community for 2 years. You have to have a PhD in fictional googology to understand stuff like catamirroring. It's not really fair for new people. That's why the Fixing FG project is also working with some of the greatest minds in FG to create a beginner's guide to fictional googology, which will serve as an introduction to all concepts in FG for all skill levels, and help you get a kickstart on your FG career. I'm really looking forward to getting this out, as this will help so many people get started with FG. So, to summarize, FG has become a messy competition with concepts that are hard for beginners to understand, tons of arguments, and the scale war being a big problem. The Fixing FG project is dedicated to fixing this mess.
I've talked about 2 of the main problems within FG. But how can you help? First, like this video and share it with as many fictional googologists as possible. In order to save our community, we'll need everyone's help, and thus, we need to get this video out to as many fictional googologists as possible. Share this video in your community tab, if you have one. Second, please keep in mind the things I've talked about in your FG career. Again, everyone needs to do their part, if they want this community to live on. Third, join the Fixing FG server in the description, if you can. If we all pitch in, we'll change the community for the better. You can make a difference by helping us save FG. Thanks for watching this video until the end. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments and I'll be sure to answer. Together, we can save fictional googology.